You ever stood there, deed in your hand, while your wife's hands are zip-tied behind her back? That metallic click still echoes through my bones, the sound of helplessness. I watched Diana get cuffed on land we owned, by cops who chose to believe a stranger holding some scrap of paper over our property title. And there I stood, paralyzed, while neighbors peeked from their porches like this was the afternoon entertainment they'd been missing. The wind played with our closing documents scattered across the driveway, fluttering like confetti at the worst celebration in history. That woman, Lorraine, the self-appointed community standards czar, filmed the whole thing. Filmed it like she'd just won some warped victory. 2 hours north of the city, the air up here tastes like pine, not exhaust, and our dreams were finally getting their wings. We were just simple folks, a 52-year-old electrician, bones weary from attic crawls and emergency calls, and a 48-year-old former forensic accountant who juggles numbers like a chess master. 15 years of scrimping, of putting aside every spare dollar, all of it to buy a perfect 1.2-acre slice with a 1970s cabin lurking in the woods, holding stories in its creaky bones. Loons called across the lake. The worst siren was our own breath in the reeds. Those realtor photos might have warned us. Some neighbors are particular. I wish they'd defined it, because it meant unhinged. Week 2 of being so-called new owners, I'm stacking firewood when I hear a voice slicing through the quiet. "Excuse me, are you the new owners?" I turn around to find Lorraine, clipboard in hand like she's about to recite my sentence. A measuring tape around her neck, some suburban badge of honor. She smiles, but there's something in that grin that's more predator than neighbor. She proceeds to read off a laundry list of imaginary sins. Wrong gate color, non-conforming boat dock, firewood stacking out of visual harmony, my mailbox being, get this, aggressively non-conforming. She quotes $350 in compliance fines and $75 monthly dues. Diana appears, towel in hand, trying to figure out which kind of crazy just landed in our driveway. "We didn't see anything about an HOA in our closing papers," I say. Her smile shreds. "Honey," she says, "there's a lot city folks don't understand about community standards." And she says city folks like it's a disease tag. 2 days pass. Lorraine returns with backup. Tyler, a kid in his 30s with a badge like it's real authority but looks like he's never held anything heavier than a smartphone. He snaps photos of our property like it's a crime scene. Click, click, click. Dock, gate, truck parked on our land. This final violation notice lands under our wiper. Legal threats, fancy letterhead, repaint, or else. But 30 years in construction and wiring tells me bullshit when I smell it. That night, Diana fires up her laptop. We've barely settled in and already she's 10 steps ahead. County records, no such HOA registered. A call to the previous owner confirms it. Lorraine's terrorizing people, extortion racket style, and most just paid to make it stop. State filings. Lorraine filed an LLC, but never an HOA. She's running a scam. And let me tell you, nothing tastes sharper than your well water that night when you realize you're about to go to war and fight to win. Diana installs a military-grade electronic keypad on the gate, drills in security cameras, and posts private property signs like she's laying landmines. She begins keeping a notebook, documenting everything with the precision of a forensic accountant, as she once was. Every attempt Lorraine makes, recorded. Every violation, every notice, every moment. This woman has no idea she's decided to pick a fight with someone who can trace a penny through a money laundering scheme. 3 days later, Lorraine shows up with bolt cutters. I'm fixing a light fixture inside when Diana's voice cracks through the glass. "Ma'am, step away from our property now, or I'll call the police." I peer out to see Lorraine, bolt cutters at the ready, and Tyler filming like it's criminal activity for dummies. "This gate blocks emergency access," Lorraine says into the camera like she's found her anchor. "HOA maintains easement rights." Diana doesn't flinch. "Show me the documented easement," she demands. Lorraine flips through a briefcase of forged documents. Fake bylaws, forged signatures, entirely made-up authority. Then a sheriff's patrol car arrives. Still, I almost derail everything by marching toward Lorraine, fists clenched. But Diana's grip on my arm stops me, firm and wise. "Document, don't react," she whispers. Her deed, survey, tax records spread before Deputy Craig. Meanwhile, Lorraine presents her shoddy fake HOA master deed. Deputy Craig, county recorder sense tingling, looks at both sets. "These people have clear title," he says, calmer than I feel. Lorraine's face collapses. She rants about standards and property values. The deputy cuts in. They can secure their property however they like. Then she storms off with Tyler trailing behind like a beaten dog. But not before she throws us a look full of promise. This isn't over. That night, Diana files harassment complaints. Turns out Deputy Craig is Lorraine's nephew. Conflict of interest, anyone? Mrs. Kowalski, a neighbor in her 70s, tells us she's been one of Lorraine's victims. Threatened if she didn't pay. She'd report her late husband's workshop as hazardous, so she paid $50 a month to keep his memory safe. As we listen, fire builds in us. We've bought paradise, but somehow brought a tyrant home. Then things escalate fast. First, our power goes out. Some concerned citizen tells the electric company we've hooked into community lines illegally. Next, the water district shows up, suspicious of our well-threatening code violations. Then the health department inspects our septic. Each visit costs money, time, and sanity. While Lorraine reclines on her deck across the lake, binoculars trained on our chaos, Diana pieces it all together. Targeted utility harassment. Elderly victims paying thousands just to survive. Land forced back on the market at a loss rather than face the torment. Jim, Lorraine's boyfriend and unofficial enforcer, confronts me in the hardware store, paint cans in hand, threats dripping from his words. "Your wife's making life uncomfortable," he says, voice low. Community standards. I tell him what the standards really are. False notices, monopoly on fear. Suddenly, grocery shoppers are watching. I say loud enough, "We've got documentation. Your whole operation is fraud." His mask slips. "Accidents happen," he says with a wink, "but it's a threat, plain as day." Back home, Diana turns our kitchen table into mission control. Spreadsheets, forged documents, harassment patterns. She researches actual legal HOA requirements, articles of incorporation, recorded CC&Rs, registered agent filings. Lorraine had none. But the mother lode is hidden in county records. Lorraine's own property has septic fines. She's projecting her violations onto everyone else. The metallic tang of our well water finally makes sense. We call a barbecue for Labor Day weekend. Just burgers and a few neighbors brave enough to attend. Mrs. Kowalski, the Hendersons, Mr. Petrov, all with their own horror story. Tears, confessions, righteous anger. We bring neighbors together, building something real. We've pulled permits, followed rules. Flames from a bonfire dance against the dusk. Then Lorraine shows up, Brenda on her arm, Tyler clicking photos. A noise violation, a fire hazard. We show our fire permit and watch her retreat in frustration. 2 a.m. Diana wakes me. Smoke and fire down by the dock. Gasoline accelerant pattern. Someone lit our land on purpose. Security cameras capture a figure running toward Lorraine's side of the lake, Tyler-shaped, suspicious as hell. A neighbor confirms he bought a gas can earlier. The arson turns neighbors into allies. Testimonies, medical records, financial strain, everything gets documented. Diana forms a WhatsApp group. We learn impersonating government authority is a crime. Organizing harassment is racketeering. We prepare. She sends certified letters demanding financials from the HOA. Lorraine sends spreadsheets. $32,000 reserve fund, landscaping, professional services, false as fiction. Diana lays them against real bank data. $847 in account, personal withdrawals, grocery bills, embezzlement, fraud, bank deception staring us in the face. Background check. Lorraine convicted for a nearly identical scam in a neighboring county in 2018. Nobody's first. Our insurance was inflated too. Fake HOA risk. We file for refund, $400 back. We build criminal and civil strategy. Fraud, extortion, mail fraud, RICO, lawsuit, because this is organized crime in lake form. We collect evidence, notices, payments, photos, recordings, witness statements. Brenda offers immunity. Tyler flips. Jim claims ignorance. Detective finds Lorraine impersonating a county official. Federal charges incoming. Channel 7 runs our story. Lorraine defends herself on camera. Standards, she repeats. When asked about forged docs, she says, sometimes protecting the community means doing what outsiders can't understand. Faceplant on national TV. Her final stunt, trying to empty the bank account. Automatically flagged for fraud. More charges. Then the county commission meeting room fills. News crews, families, lawmakers, reporters. Diana presents. Forged HOA filings, misrepresented bank reserves, medical trauma, inflated insurance, recorded bribe confession. The recording plays. Silence. Gasps. Lorraine loses it, screaming. I built something here. You're destroying community. Security ushers her out as Commissioner Walsh announces arrest warrants and policy reforms. Cheers roar. 6 months later, Lorraine's in orange. 4 years prison, 3 probation, fines, restitution. Tyler gets probation, community service, maintaining the very properties he helped terrorize, insurance refunds, civil settlement, all going back to victims. Our lake community rebuilds itself. Lakeside dinners, coffee gatherings, dock improvement parties, scholarships against HOA fraud, community gardens where her fake office stood. We fought, we won. Every selfie from sunset on our dock, every wave from a neighbor we helped heal. The taste of victory sharper than the burn of that first injustice.